welcome to my channel. My name's Ali and this here is Socks, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about male and female chinchillas and which potentially could make the best pet. This video may end up being a little bit like Mythbusters, so stay tuned. So the first thing is temperament. Now there's a really wide held belief on the internet that females are actually more aggressive than males. I'm here to tell you that from my own personal experience and the experience of many other breeders, this is not true at all and is actually a complete myth. Temperament is not really based on the gender of your chinchilla, and it's more down to the individual personalities. There's no correlation between gender and aggressiveness. So, for example, some of my tamest chinchillas, some of my friendliest chinchillas are in fact female. Now this is not to say that some females can be extremely dominant, extremely territorial and very defensive, but you can also get some males that are extremely dominant, territorial and defensive. So it's really down to the individual personality of your chinchilla. So where I think this myth initially comes from is the fact that in the wild, chinchillas do live in a somewhat matriarchal society, which means the females generally are a little bit more dominant over the males. However, this does not really translate into aggression and correlation with gender really in captivity. As I say, some of my friendliest chinchillas are actually females. And that's not to say that males won't be aggressive and females won't be aggressive, because it's all down to individual personality traits and nothing else. So the next one is physical attributes. Now, it is kind of true that females generally are slightly larger than males and slightly chunkier. However, in captivity they have been selectively bred for certain attributes, and one of them is size. So now you can get extremely large females, but you can also get extremely large males. So now when you look at a chinchilla and you want a big chinchilla, it's more down to the genetics of that chinchilla rather than the gender of the chinchilla. So if you're thinking, oh, I want a really large chunky chinchilla, I have to get a female, that's not necessarily the case anymore. You can get extremely large males as well. But all chinchillas come in all shapes and sizes, and I love them all. Okay, so the next one. Female chinchillas spray urine. Now, it is true that female chinchillas can spray urine at you if they are frightened. It's a defense mechanism. But males can actually spray urine too, and often I see when people say the differences between males and females, oh, females spray urine. No, males can do this as well. It's less common with males, but they can actually do it as well. Also to note, female spraying urine is quite rare. I have around 30 female chinchillas, and I only have one that I know potentially could spray urine at me. The rest of them generally don't. It's more of a personality thing and how skittish your chinchilla is and how highly strung your chinchilla is as to whether they're likely to spray urine at you. I actually have a male that on occasion has sprayed me with urine as well. Both genders can actually spray urine, it's just more of a common one for females to do it. Although, as I say, still quite a rare occurrence because it is actually a defence mechanism, and they only do it when they're stressed or if you have a highly strung chinchilla and a highly skittish, frightened chinchilla, which some chinchillas are. So the next thing is health checks, and with males they can get a thing called hairing, and it's where loose fur gets wrapped around the male genitalia, and it can cause swelling, it can cause them to not being able to retract that area, it can cause discomfort, and if not treated and removed within time, it can cause some serious health issues. So it is really important that you learn how to check for hairing. However, if you can see that the male chinchilla that you have is actually cleaning themselves down there, and believe me, if you see it, you will know when a male is cleaning themselves down there. If you can see it, you don't necessarily have to do that monthly hairing check, because if a chinchilla is doing it of their own accord, and that is one of their normal personal hygiene routines, is to clean themselves down there, you don't necessarily have to check them, because if they're doing it themselves, why would you be checking it? However, there are times when you do need to check whether your chinchilla has a hairing. And these are the situations where you do need to check. If you have an extremely lazy chinchilla that doesn't really clean themselves down there, then yes, you probably will need to do that hairing check. If you have a chinchilla that is lethargic or not behaving like themselves, it's worth doing a hairing check on them. If you have a chinchilla and you can see that the area is swollen, or you can see that the penis isn't retracting, yes, you most definitely need to take the hairing off, and it probably is the fact they have got a hairing. So there are definitely situations where you do need to check it and remove hairing. But however, do you need to do this every single month if your chinchilla is cleaning themselves and you can see they've cleaned themselves? No, I don't think you do. I think you do if you have the warning signs there to say something's wrong, then yes, you definitely do need to check them. However, checking them when they're actually doing it themselves and it seems to be all working correctly what they're doing, then you're really just interfering in something that doesn't need to be interfered with, if you get my drift. So yeah, it's really important that you know how to do it, and it's really important that you do it when it's needed. However, if your chinchilla is doing it all themselves, cleaning themselves regularly, you can physically see that area when they clean themselves. You can actually see it and see what's going on with the chinchilla. So you don't necessarily need to do that hairing check every month if you can see your chinchilla doing it. Sorry, that was a bit of a rambly one. So to conclude this video, I think that there's no real difference between male and females really. Yeah, a lot of the information out there is misleading or just a complete myth. Now, yes, while it is true that females are slightly more likely to spray urine at you and more likely to do it with accuracy anyway at you, they don't do it that often. And as for things like aggression, that's just completely down to the individual personality of your chinchilla. It's got nothing to do with gender at all. And as for health checks, yeah, that health check that does need to be put in place if your chinchilla needs it. Yeah, so they're the main differences. So, you know, there's not really a whole lot of difference between the two. I actually find it easier to house females together than I do males. I don't know why that is, that's just me. So I can have a whole group of females together, but I can't tend to have a group of males together. They tend to be a bit more fighty. So, you know, it all depends on the individual personalities of your chinchilla, I guess. But yeah, so that's the end of this video. Hope you found it interesting or informative, or you know, whatever. And if you like my videos, please subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye.